Hello, this is Matthew Pizgatti, giving an update on where my passive income, crypto, DeFi, degenerate journey is at. Where I'm at right now as far as how much have I compounded up to, what could I harvest if I was going to harvest or claim any of the funds from Faucet, Drip Garden, anywhere else that I'm at, and where do I have all my small amounts of funds. Now, one thing to stress with a lot of these is that they are longer-term plays. Even something like the Drip Faucet, Drip Garden, they're meant to compound, to rehydrate back into the system a good bit. They're meant to have that happen for a certain amount of time before you actually see your ROI and before you can start claiming, just to ensure that longevity, more participation in the system. I love that word, longevity. I really should say sustainability, just to help the sustainability of the whole protocol. They want people compounding more than they're claiming, but due to the way that compounding interest works, or just run through a compounding interest calculator, you'll see what I mean, that it stacks up very quickly. And that's really the purpose for a lot of these, is that you're going to compound more than you claim, but then when you start claiming, kind of in an alternating strategy, you're gonna get back more than you put in, and it's going to be essentially kind of printing those extra funds for you, as long as the underlying token and the protocol, the ecosystem it's built on, is going up, or has more capital coming in, or it's at least staying steady and doing what we'd like it to be and being successful. And for all of these, of course, we hope that there's more utility and use in the future with some of the partnerships that are coming down the line. So for my own future purposes, to reference back, I'm going to kind of review where I'm at. I've gotten up to about 346 plants now. That gives me around 11.533 plants, making a new one every 2 hours and 4 minutes. Now that's got me at 1.142. We know that this amount is showing us where we're at with the decay, and we know that also reflects the price of the LP token, which is why we're down so much in dollar amount, because this number up here, the LP dollar amount, is falling quicker than that decay, or quicker than the compounding is going to catch up to. And I'm not incredibly worried about that, because as I've said in previous videos, I'm bullish enough on DRIP. I think it'll be coming back up. And in turn, the DRIP token, the LP token, DRIP BUSD, will come up. That's what I'm hoping. I can't guarantee that. None of us can. This may all tank and never come back up, but that's what we're hoping for, is that it'll trend back upwards after this big dip. You can see even with that, seeing a relatively steady point, but not really gaining here, whereas I had seen a lot of gains previously. Still every day I was seeing a climb in LP. I'm not seeing that, but I think it's because a lot of this was relatively horizontal. It wasn't actually falling that much, and we've seen even a bigger dip in that drip value. So that's not fun, but that's where we're at, and it doesn't look positive. And I understand that that's how it looks. So that's where we're at. If you're bullish on the system, you're not worrying too much about it, and you're just compounding and moving on. And that's where I fall. So I'm at 346 plants. Drip Faucet, I'm at 1.211. I haven't been compounding this very often because it's such a small amount. Keep in mind, if you had thrown a lot more in, I'm kind of running an experiment of putting a small amount in and trying to grow those. But if you had put more in, you'd see a much bigger return quicker, because you'd be able to hydrate more often. I'm not hydrating very often because of the gas fees, or sometimes they're a little high. And it doesn't make sense to hydrate more than about $5 at a time. But if you had put in 1,000, you put in 2,000, whatever crazy amount you put in, because you have more of that liquid free capital, your compounding is actually going to happen a lot faster than mine, and get you at a good rate of return. I mean, you're still getting 1%. Remember, even with DRIP rising and falling, you're getting a steady 1% in the faucet, up to 365% of the deposits. And so that max payout, that 365%, goes up as you hydrate more back into the system. And so you kind of extend that 365%, You may have heard someone say it was 365 days. It's actually percentage based of your deposit. And again, we're still hitting 1% of DRIP, of the DRIP deposit we have in here. Now, DRIP is really low right now, so this is another thing that's affected by DRIP. We're at, what is that, about 50-something? 60? It was at 69 this morning, 63. So we're kind of at the mercy of DRIP here, as well as the garden. You know, we need this to come back up from where it is. We saw a big fall in DRIP, and we'd like that to trend back upward, so that we can benefit in the garden and the faucet. But for now, you're not losing anything. You're making a whole bunch more plants while you're compounding, and you're making a whole lot of DRIP in the faucet. So you're not losing anything until those losses are realized when you sell out. Just like stocks. You know, if a stock goes down, you're not losing anything until it comes back up. That's the way I look at it. Or I should say, until you sell. When you actually sell, that's when you've realized your loss or gains, which is why they talk about unrealized losses. You know, they're not actually real losses until you transfer back into some other type of currency. Then you're no longer dealing with that quote-unquote investment, or in this case, these are kind of like games that we're playing, but you're not in that game or investment any longer once you've sold out of it or sold out of your position. And then EMP.Money, I just did a video on. I think it might still be in the process of publishing, but this is a new one. I'm not sure much about it. I don't have a lot of information. I just threw some funds in to see what it does. It's also a 1% like the faucet. I have about $45 in there right now. So I'd say it was about 200 I threw into the garden, maybe 180, somewhere in there. 50 into this one, and then a little over 100 in the faucet. So maybe 120, 180. So under 400, I think, in all of these places. And that's where I fall at the moment in all the spots that I am currently invested. Oh, well, actually, we have a few more on the animal farm, don't we? I've got almost 100 here in the DRIP BUSD farm, so that's closer to 500 for us. I have a few cents in dogs staked, but that's not counting for much. And then the piggy bank, I don't really have anything in. I've gotten some referrals that gave me truffles, but the amount of truffles that are needed for a piglet are the same as seeds needed for plants, is what I think we've determined. So I'm nowhere near to even get a piglet to make more truffles. So I'm really ignoring this. This mostly just came from some referrals, which I appreciate, but until I have enough to buy at least one piglet, which are probably about $70 value right now, if I remember, until I'm up to that point again, or have some free to throw in there, I'm not going to worry about the piggy bank. So mostly it's just the garden, the farm for me. I'm getting some pigs that I can eventually throw in for the piglets. The faucet, and then EMP.Money. So that concludes my update of where I fall under all my crypto degen projects. And I look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments. If you're in similar projects or have other ones I should look into that I'm not aware of, that's awesome, great information. Or just something I hadn't noticed in the video I didn't mention that might be good information for everyone else. Throw that in there. Hope to see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great morning, afternoon, night, whatever time of day it is for you. Thanks for watching.